My commitment for this project is for the next 4 following weeks. I will attend an outdoor and indoor shooting range and complete a total of 8 hours in order for me to grow my fears of shooting at guns and overcome the stereotypes made by my family and society. For the first 2 weeks, I attended an indoor shooting range located in my hometown, Watsonville, California. The first thing I had to do in order for me to rent a gun and in order for me to go into the shooting range was that I first had to read and sign the safety procedure paper, some of them being, always wear protective gear when inside the shooting range. Never put your finger on the trigger when you're not ready to shoot. Always close the doors prior to entering the range. And last but not least, one must be over 21 and if not accompanied by a parent or guardian. The second thing I had to do was take a class that showed me how to properly hold and shoot a gun. If you click on the right hand picture, you will be able to see a clip of when they were teaching me. Oh my god! According to firing link forums, gun shooting has been predominant with men, primarily for military purposes. The origin of target shooting began first in Central Europe. Target shooting was part of the Olympic program already since the first modern Olympic Games, which took place in Athens in 1896, which only men participated. Though in 1968, women for the first time were allowed to take part in the Olympic shooting competitions. In this year, 3 women took part in the competitions together with the men. Unfortunately, since 1984, there are separate competitions for women after they had competed with the men since the Olympics in 1868. In the article Gun Control, there's a statistical chart which shows that men owning a gun outweigh women's. In the chart, we can see that in 2005, only 15% of women owned a gun, while 47% of them were men. According to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, gun store owners reported that 73% increase in female customers between 2010 and 2011. Carter states that she believes that this increase has to do with women feeling self-empowerment by owning a gun. From 2001 to 2011, the NSFF has seen a 51.5% increase in female participation in target shooting and 41.8% increase in female participation in hunting, according to the National Sports Goods Association Annual Sports Participation Report. The current issue right now that is happening with guns is that Obama is trying to pass the Gun Control Act, which prohibits people from owning a gun because he thinks that by people not having guns, it will reduce violence. My theory as to why there was no historical changes in participation with guns was because women like myself grew up to be fearful of guns and learned to appeal to the inside chores or inside home duties, while men grew up to appeal to guns and be fearless of them. As a matter of fact, most boys, when I asked what they wanted to be when they grew up, most of their answers was a policeman. This activity fits into traditional ideas of leisure for men because of the Victorian ideal. Women, as stated in the history article, have always been perceived as a weaker sex, and men as a strong sex. In gun shooting, one needs a lot of force if one is shooting a big gun, which most women would find it difficult. From my experience, my shoulders would hurt a lot after each lesson because of the pressure of the gun. According to the history article, women have smaller shoulders and is why sports like these are harder for women than are for men. Also, this fits into men's leisure because, as we read in the history article, the men started to keep the family safe, and being a man means being fearless. My experience with my cross-gender activity relates to the second goal of feminism covered in the feminist article, which is the right of every woman to equity, dignity, and freedom of choice, through the power to control her own life and body within the outside of their home. I was able to accomplish my goal by standing up for myself and telling my dad I was going to finally learn how to shoot a gun, regardless if he was still against women shooting. The reason why I had to not participate in the activity before was because my family was against me shooting because they thought it wasn't very womanlike. Like other women covered in our class materials, I also had a lot of social constraints that interfered with my leisure activities. Though like feminists, I wanted to overcome these stereotypes and show my family that I am still a girly girl, even though I have shot a gun. But it doesn't mean I am masculine. This activity challenged me to gain confidence and not believe on what the Victorian ideal stated, that women were weaker than men. It also challenged me to stand up for myself and go outside society norms and try a sport which is considered masculine. While I was participating, I felt very scared and got an anxiety attack that I had to watch a video to help me overcome my fear of guns. After watching that video, my fear became better, and at the end of each lesson, felt more confident. The insights that were gained for both gender was that every woman can be good at a sport or do whatever they want if they put their mind to it. As for the opposite gender, I gained a lot of respect from both my boyfriend and my dad. Although I overcame my fear and crossed off shooting in my bucket list, I don't think I will participate in this activity because it didn't catch my attention and didn't consider it a leisure. As we read as in the article, Excuse Me While I Explode, I was raised into an environment or family where a woman's primary focus is to keep the household clean and take care of the children. So that's why I will not participate again because I feel that it was just a waste of my time